So as you can see, we had quite a bit of walking to go through T-Tunnel 123 until we get into the turbine building and then ultimately into what we call the off-gas room. As you can see here, we have the vault refrigeration machines, the units Alpha and Bravo. They're what help keep all the adsorbers nice and cool so that way they do their job properly. Just a little bit of a tour around here, not a whole lot to see, but do realize that we have some safety concerns. These pipes can get awfully hot when they're doing their job. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what the glycol system looks like. And then as you can see here, we have our glycol system. It's really nothing more than antifreeze. We use it to help with the vault refrigeration machines and keep them cold, nice and cold and properly functioning with their job. And I really screwed all that up, but you really didn't notice that. So moving on, here we have the compressors that help maintain the glycol system. We have 1, 2, 3, and Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie just taking a walk around. Notice that we do have some knockers, head knockers, we have ladders, we have safety concerns, and of course this is antifreeze, so we have some concerns with that. That's why we have this nice large berm around it, and a drip tray for underneath the pump. And the next thing that we have here is our off-gas dryer train beds. This one is our Alpha train. And as you can see here, we keep it running all the time. We usually have one in service, one in standby, and then the other side, the Bravo side, walking over to here, will be out of service completely. It actually takes manual operations of the valves to place the beds in service and then realign them. Does everybody remember what we used them from the lecture? I'm sure you do. Now, here is a map of the entire off-gas system, if you will. So we're going to go through this line by line. So we're starting off from the main steam system, going through the steam jet air ejectors. We're going to run up through the preheaters, the catalytic recombiners, the off-gas condenser, the hold-up pipe, that very, very exciting pipe. And then after that, we're going to go over to our cooler condensers. And then we're going to keep our flow traveling around. And we're eventually going to wind up getting it down into these absorbers. We've got a little bit of a backup over here. We're going to go through our off-gas dryer bed system. And for our next thing, we're going to head up these stairs. There's a little bit more of the system to see. It's not a whole lot. As you've realized so far, a lot of the system is behind locked doors, high rad walls in different compartments, and we really can't get to it. But one thing that we really do need to see is at the top of the stairs and at the end of this little walk down here, and we will eventually come to our 60 valve. I know that's a slang term for it, but that's what everybody seems to remember it by. Remember, it does have some very important functions, and this is kind of our last break. If we wind up having any type of alert in the system, it will shut off the entire system, and if we shut off the entire system, we will choke out the system, and then ultimately we can shut down the reactor just by this valve tripping. So it's kind of our last defense to make sure that if our off-gas system is for some unknown reason not working properly, it will make sure that we don't send all those contaminated gases out into the public, because after all, that is our ultimate job, the health and safety of the public. And we're about to speed up again here, and we're going to go around and we're going to look at the last few components that we can possibly get to with our off-gas system. We're eventually going to come up on the beginning of our fans to see if we can get there just a little bit quicker. Oh, yep, here we go. And we're off to the races. And then we're going to come around this corner. If you have no idea where we're at, we actually happen to be on turbine building 154. And now we're going to sit here and we're going to look at our fan 6, which is our off-gas refrigeration vault fan. And then coming over to here, we are going to look at off-gas fan 5, our other fan. And we have one last fan that we can get up to in here, and that's going to be over here. And this one is going to be working with the rest of the system, but it's not used as frequently as one might think. So what does this fan do? Well, let's take a look down here and see what we've got. We've got off-gas Vault 7, which is our hydrogen analyzer, and our pre-treat. And then turning right around here, we get into our hold-up pipe room. And now, like I said, a lot of this is locked high rad, and we can't even get into anything. So make sure you obey your signs and your RP people.